Alex Hormozi is one of the most successful business content creators to come out in the last 5 years. His content has helped thousands of people start and run very successful businesses. But he made one huge mistake which almost cost him his valuable audience. So in today's video, I'm going to tell you what this mistake was, how he fixed it, and most importantly, how you can avoid this same mistake in your channel. So if you're new to the channel, I'm Jack and I help businesses build a YouTube channel that's optimized for sales. We actually have a completely free guide on how to book 10 qualified sales calls a month through your YouTube channel, and you can check that in the link in the description. So I've been a huge fan of Alex Hormozi ever since reading his book $100 Million Offer about 4 years ago. I remember I was sitting and it was a really sunny day and I was reading it in the park, and I read the whole thing in one day and it completely blew my mind. I remember thinking this book is going to change everything, and shortly after that book's release, you saw lots of businesses pop up following the methods in Alex Hormozi's book and being very successful because of it. And the lessons in this book completely changed the trajectory of our own business. So let's just talk very briefly about Alex Hormozi's background before he found YouTube. So before creating content, Alex had multiple businesses generating millions of dollars. This included Gym Launch. And by 2020, he'd sold the majority of the equity in these businesses and he started acquisition.com. This is where he invests in other businesses as an equity partner. So up until this point, he had never considered content creation himself. He had built his businesses on cold outreach, ads, and referrals, and he knew how to do that very, very well, and he was clearly very successful at it. He read a story about Kylie Jenner becoming the youngest ever billionaire, and this hit him like a ton of bricks. She didn't have much business knowledge, but she had an incredibly strong personal brand. And that's when he realized, if I combine my business knowledge with a personal brand, imagine what's possible. So that's when he decided to fling himself into the world of content creation. When he first started on YouTube, his approach was refreshingly simple. So his early videos were literally just him speaking to a webcam. There was zero production quality. It was just him in what looks like a cupboard sharing lots of valuable information. And this really resonated with his audience. He posted one video a week. For 2 years, he started to see significant growth. So it started out a few hundred people, then a few thousand, until he had a sizable audience. And a lot of his equity partners that he works with today are people who discovered him through this YouTube channel. And people really resonated with this authentic approach where there was no hooks, there was no retention methods, it was all just straight up value. And this makes a really good point that the most important thing is the value that you give away in your videos. And these early days, Alex Hormozi really proved that it's the value that you provide which is much more important than the quality of the production. So at this point, the videos weren't as streamlined as they are today. He wasn't able to speak as concisely and to the point as he does, and he didn't really know how to write a hook and an effective call to action. But nonetheless, the videos performed really well and he started to see tangible results. This also shows another skill that you develop by being consistent on YouTube, and that is your ability to speak to camera dramatically improves with every video. If you go back and you watch his earlier videos, it takes him a lot longer to get to the point and he's not able to break down complex ideas as efficiently as he does now. And this also makes a good point that the more consistent you are talking to the camera and practicing delivering viable information, the better you get at it. So this is definitely a skill that you develop over time by being consistent on YouTube. So over the years, he started to ramp up the production quality of his videos. He hired a video production team to help him. He developed a unique editing style where it was much faster cuts and bolder text. And you saw lots of other people copy this style, and he found his voice where he's able to break down complex ideas into simple terms, which is what he's really known for. But he saw other business owners and businesses out there with much larger following, and it wasn't until he spoke to one of these founders and he asked them, how do I get to the same level as you? And his answer was very simple. You just need to put out more content. This other creator posted 5 times the volume of Alex Hormozi. And this really raised the bar in his mind of what was possible. So on Instagram, he went from posting 1 video every 2 or 3 days to 3 videos every single day. And on YouTube, he went from posting once a week to 3 times a week. And very quickly, he grew to millions of followers across his platforms, and he became one of the most recognized business content creators that's around today. So the formula that he follows is value times volume equals success. So if you only post one amazing video once a month, hardly any people are going to see it. But if you post 5 really shit posts every single day, nobody wants to see it. So Alex Hormozi already had the value. He knew how to provide value to his audience. Now he just had to increase the volume, and that's exactly what he did. And the reason he was able to produce so much content is he'd already developed the skills of speaking on camera. He could deliver complex ideas and break them down into simple steps that anybody could follow. He knew how to write engaging hooks and titles and what resonated with people. He spent years of seeing what works and what doesn't, and he was able to just double down on what works right away. So it feels like he had overnight success, but it's actually years of learning these skills that made it work for him and gave him that ability to produce so much content so quickly. So he was growing at a rapid rate, he was seeing huge growth and an ROI on all of his content. But then this is where he made one big mistake. Maybe he was influenced by people like Kylie Jenner, who switched to creating lifestyle content, or maybe the demands of the volume of content meant that he ran out of business ideas to talk about. He started to drift away from the content that made him so popular with his audience, the stuff that they found value in. He moved away from creating business-focused content like how to scale, how to sell to people, and the mindset you need for success. And he started to create content on anything that he had experience in. So lifestyle videos, clothing, how to cook protein meals, dating advice, just anything in general. And this really diluted his audience. People were tuning in to find high protein recipes, but they were never interested in his business advice. They were never going to become the person that he would ever work with. And this machine gun scattered approach is a mistake that so many other people on YouTube make. They'll drift away from creating niche content which attracts their ideal clients, and they move into broader topics which dilutes their audience. And Alex Hormozi's whole business model at acquisition.com revolves around helping business owners get to $1 million a year in revenue, and once they're at that point, they can work with him directly and he'll become a partner. But his new content wasn't helping his ideal customers get to that point. He wasn't giving them the valuable business advice that made him so popular with that audience in the first place. And this is a big mistake that a lot of people start to make on YouTube, where they focus on vanity metrics. They'll try and create videos that get lots of views and subscribers, and they stop tracking what actually matters. How many calls were booked from that video? How many inquiries did we get? What video led to the most sales? These are the metrics that actually matter for businesses on YouTube. Luckily for Alex Hormozi, he realized this before it was too late. His subscriber count and his growth and his likes and followers, that was all rising while his conversion rates were dropping. So he realized that he'd done something wrong. He realized that his audience was very diluted with people who would never actually buy from him. So he stripped everything back and he's gone back to the basics that made him so popular to begin with his audience. The editing isn't as extreme, and it's just him sat there giving as much value away as possible as he can to his audience and his ideal customers. And these are actually the videos that perform the best on YouTube and resonate the most with his ideal customers. So if you're thinking about starting a channel for your business where you can grow your audience and increase your sales through YouTube, then don't let the fact that you don't have expensive equipment hold you back. Get started today with a simple webcam or even your phone, and just practice delivering valuable information to your audience, because every video you're going to get better at doing it, and it's a very good skill to develop, speaking to the camera and sharing actionable advice. And remember, we have a completely free guide on exactly how to book 10 qualified sales calls a month through your YouTube channel, link in the description. So if you want to learn exactly how to get clients through your YouTube channel, then make sure you check out this video next. And if you're an agency owner, a coach or consultant, then this is going to work extremely well for you. So make sure you check out this video next, and I'll see you there.